stream, but I canceled it because it wasn't coming through correctly. Anyway, guys, Ghost of Hawaii, take two. You know who? Back again with another Talk in the Dark with all of you out there that decide to stop by and later on. Either way, I appreciate you guys. So, it's Saturday night. I hope you guys are doing well. We are broadcasting from the land of the tall man. We're there again tonight. What we're going to be talking about this evening is initially going over the last live stream that I did, which was in Waikiki, the Waikiki Spirit Box Sessions, Part 1. So I'm going to be talking about that tonight. And then we are also going to talk about what happened after that. Hey, Ed, good to see you, my friend. How are you doing tonight? I'm going to be talking about that as well. So it should be interesting what we will be talking about this evening. Also, we will, again, at the end of the night, we'll talk about next week's guest, which I'm very, very excited. We're going to have Relatively Paranormal on. So we'll talk about that later on. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. And of course, well, before I start, let's just kind of like catch up on things that are going on here on the island of Oahu and the neighbor islands as well. COVID-19, to get straight to the point, is running amok. It is creating havoc. It is destroying people's lives. It has been for quite a while. Amy, is good to see you, but the numbers are up here in Hawaii. They're way up. How are you doing, my friend? Kuhau. It's been a long time. Thank you for being here. Blessings to you and your family. It's crazy, and I know it's also crazy where Kuhau is at as well. COVID is just a practically, but thankfully not unstoppable monster. Doing what it has done lately, it has hit home. I won't say how close and with who, but it's happened. And so my thoughts are, to be quite honest, just to get that out of the way, because it's been bugging me, we should be doing a shutdown. Matter of fact, I can't see it being nothing but it's going to happen type of deal, if you know what I'm saying. It's just going to happen. The numbers are too high. You can't break you can't bring the numbers down without a response to the situation. Our hospitals are filling up rapidly. It's a scary horror movie type thing that is going on. So I went out tonight to see how that would be, to see if it would be good. And so I'm saying that because I think the lockdown will happen very soon. Jimmy Rodelia, it's Johnny Rodelia. Good to see you. Hey, been a long time. How are you doing, my friend? So with all the insanity going on, once I'm done talking about this, which will be very, very soon, we will talk about other things as well. AG2, it's good to see you. Yo, my friend, how are you doing tonight? Something for you folks to watch. Maybe you'll find it interesting. I hope you do, because it does include primarily the paranormal, which is what I think all of you come here for. And that's why I'm talking to you. Yeah, long time no see, my friend. It's been a long time, Johnny. So let's get right down to it, guys. My feelings are we're going to hit that inevitable lockdown, shutdown, which I think shutdown sounds better. I think it sounds better than saying lockdown. You know, there's still some, freedom and stuff to do things, but we got to keep it real here as well as the rest of the world. So been doing good, been doing very good, my friend. Very, very good. Okay, so I'm going to put that off to the side now because I can go on and on about COVID, what should be done, what's not happening, and hopefully what will change. So we'll get that out of the way. So, thank you, Johnny. Thank you for the prayers. Joshua, it's good to see you. Glad to have you back, my friend. It's always good to have the people that like to hang out here. And as usual, as is the case, you guys can, because you're all at home in your homes, take off your mask for a while, or probably have your mask off, and just relax and chill and interact with me whenever you're ready to do that, okay? Feel free to interact as well. So that's my thoughts on COVID right now. I'm going to keep it short and to the point with that. And now we're going to talk about what happened in Waikiki. I was kind of surprised because usually when I do these spirit box sessions, and then if I do man versus ghost, which is going way further than that, I'm by myself. But tonight is different. Oh, not. I mean, it was different that night. Kuhal says, heard you did the stream at Waikiki the other night. I did my pulley at the Heiau. I'm sorry, this thing is moving around. On the Big Island, I was watching your stream. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for all the people that say they're watching, or even if you don't say you're watching, just to know that you're there means a lot to me. But it was interesting, you know. I mean, I had guests for that night. I had Faye Okamoto, who has been on the program, and wonderful interviews with her. And then we had Dee Momolani. If you remember Dee did the Encounters with Japanese Ghosts, Part 1 and Part 2. She is a fantastic guest. You hate driving to Waikiki. Well, yeah, it was a good night though. We got there and we talked story for a little bit, kind of like warm up, you know, before we actually do the live streaming. And then we started. The beginning, it was kind of like interesting as it always is, because you're getting things from everywhere that's talking to you, you know, all type, I think, different scenarios. Even at Morgan's Corner, it's not just specific. It's just spirits that are coming forward and they want to talk. But then something interesting happened, and it was really good. Instead of having the usual really scary spirit boxes that you have seen me do, it was kind of nice. Very different, you know, because after we did the initial questions and everything, we started talking about the bone dances, the Obon season, which is now. And at Kapiolani Park, which is where we did it, at the end of that season, they have one of the last, if not the last ones for the year. It's not the ghosts, it's the people and how they drive. Oh, it's Waikiki, I believe you. So we started talking about that. Faye can speak Japanese. And so Faye started asking questions. And then we started getting words that will definitely, on my end, you know, it's really weird about doing video for spirits when they talk to you. Sometimes you get everything on it. Sometimes there's something you hear that doesn't show up later on. Go figure, it's the other side, right? I can't speak for that part. But I started hearing voices coming out in Japanese. And then some of the people in the audience, one or two of you, and then Faye and such, they were able to confirm that. So I love when that happens. I do, because it's directly responding to what you're talking about. And that went on for a while. And then afterwards, we kind of like switched it up, yeah. I decided that we're going to talk about the things that are scary over there. Right? The location that I was at a long time ago, there was a heiau, a very famous one, and then it became a school. I don't want to go into too much detail. But the heiau was taken down and the school was built. And then there was a lot of scary things that happened. So I had to switch it up, and I started talking about that. One of the most interesting things that came out of that, one particular round two, I should say, of everything was that round two, round three? Anyway, the next phase is a good way to put it, was that some of them sounded like they really wanted to respond and say things about the situation, and some of them did in their own way. But the sad thing is that they started talking about sleep and stop. You know, they shared what they did, I think, to get a message across. Please pray for your family, Johnny. Okay, I will, my friend. What is being said here? Kuhau. The Papa Ena and a heiau. This is the heiau where King Kamehameha, did ceremonies during the war long ago. Yes, that's the one. Powerful, you know? I mean, they're sharing so many things, but when they said stop and rest or sleep, you know, I respected that. I mean, I had to ask a couple more questions. 808 Hawaii Surf, thank you for being here. Doing good, my friend, doing good. Let's wait for this wonderful aircraft to go by. And we'll continue talking. Don't forget, let's see. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, this thing keeps moving. Let me just tilt it all this way, guys. Something's wrong with the tripod that I'm using. It did mention Pono. That was towards the end of everything. And that was incredible. It was at the end of everything. And then it mentioned the word Pono. We were talking about resolution. We were talking about how can we resolve the situation that happened at La Pietra, and the Heiau was there. And then that word Pono came out. Very true. That did happen. And then the candle went out. I was doing a prayer for Pono and everything for the spirits. And right when I said amen, that candle went boom. It went out. I mean, there was some wind, but it lasted. And then all of a sudden, right at that word, boom. Very true. That was crazy. And also interesting. Kuhao says, I remember that Heiau, King Kamehameha had his temple drum. Let me see. Named Naniola. It had a human teeth from a sacrificial victim. So I'm also connected to that Heiau as well. Synchronicity, my friend, is a powerful thing. Synchronicity is very powerful. And connections are made. I think the word connection showed up that night too. Very important when you look at life and also the type of things that we do. So that was amazing. Overall, if I were to tell you folks my impressions about that night, it was the most happy, not scary thing I've ever done with a spirit box. And I mean that. I was so surprised. And especially in that back area, it's really, really heavy in the back of Kapiolani Park. And I also spoke about an encounter I had with a spirit while I was arriving at that location. We talked about that as well from a previous time that I had gone there. I have a picture somewhere when I was leaving that location many years ago. And in the photograph, if you look underground underneath this tree, you see this round face of a woman looking up at the tree. And she was smiling, I believe. And that is a disembodied face. So yeah, it's haunted over there. I got ectoplasma once in a photograph. Interesting place. And since we're talking about live streams and ghosts, I've been announcing for the last several weeks that there will be a Man Camera Ghost Part 3. And yes, that will happen. And it might be a conclusion to everything at Morgan's Corner. I'm not sure yet. But I wanted to throw this in as something very cool. It's not going to be the type of man camera ghost that you folks saw on the last two ones that I did. This is going to be entirely new. And considering it's Halloween, I think it's appropriate. So look forward to that. I finally figured it out because I was trying to figure out what am I going to do. Should I continue to do the same things or should I try something different? So I'm going to do something different. And I think you'll like it. And it'll still be scary because wherever I'm going to do it, especially Morgan's Corner, things happen. So look forward to that, guys. That's not that far away. We're going to go really quickly into the end of August. Halloween will be here before we can even blink our eyes practically in the scheme of things. Check that out, folks. I'll give you more information as we get closer to that main event for Halloween this year. Man Camera Ghost 3 is coming up soon. Okay, now we're going to talk about the epilogue about what happened afterwards. I still have to upload a video. Okay. It's kind of an interesting video, but I'll talk about how spooky the end of it was. Okay, I'll let you guys know. Anyway, so afterwards we needed a break from everything, and so we went out and we had a bite to eat. I was kind of nervous. You know how it is. You're in a restaurant or whatever. COVID-19 raging out of control. But then we left after that. And a friend of mine was really interested to go out and see some of the places that we have primarily filmed on location. So we went out. I was excited. Everybody in the car was excited about doing that. It's always nice to share, especially with someone that's very much so connected with this particular channel and so on. So we did. We went out. First stop was, in fact, Morgan's Corner. I did go over there. And we were kind of more or less just sitting in the car. And then I got out. That's what I do, you know. I'm going to step out of the car. I'm going to speak. I'm going to say something. And so when I went there, I told the spirits that I do have a respect for them. Because before we had arrived, we're talking about whistling at night and how people have done it in the past, and spooky things can and do happen. You don't whistle at night here on the island of Oahu. That is not a good thing to do at all. Whew. But we went. I got out of the car. My friend, who was really intrigued by the type of stuff we do, she got out of the car. So two of us are standing outside of the car. And I talked about that, but I think what made her go back in the car was right at the beginning. I talked about Therese Wilder. I was talking to her. You know me, guys. I've had conversations. I've had my conversations. Then we talked about the whole thing with whistling and stuff, but she went back in the car by then. She didn't come out of the car, and that's fine. I don't blame her. No problem. Something was there. Not in a way that it always happens when it comes to spirits. Something was there with us. And I felt it, and I could hear it moving around a bit. But, you know, people were waiting in the car. So what I did was I said my piece. I said I respect these places. You know, I want them to know that because, well, primarily because it's true. But I'm coming back there for round 3 probably. We'll see about that. I'm coming back for round 3. And then we went riding. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we went riding. So we're in the car and we're driving out of Old Pali Drive. And as we're going up Old Pali Highway, in the course of that, my friend tells me, because I had my K2 meter that I wanted to use that night. She said, oh, get the K2 meter and put it on the phone clamp, which is attached to the windshield on the inside. And so I did that. I still felt that there was something around. For real. That was just crazy. I felt there was someone there. In the car. I felt it, and another person felt that there was a ghost in the car. You know, so at one point we're driving and we're heading up towards Old Pali Lookout, but we're on the highway. And I said, hey, or something like that. I said, wherever you are, I said, oh, you better get out of the car. There better not be anyone in this car with us. And right then, on the K2 meter, it went all the way into the red. And I mean, it went all the way. And that was crazy because it was in a direct response to what I had said. Nothing too bad. Later, we're driving down Old Pali Highway, and then we decide to go to 13 turns. You can still feel something in the car. I could feel it like practically the whole time. So we're driving down there, and I believe at one point, I have to review the video, but it spiked again when I said, hey, about the whole thing about being in the car and stuff, or talking about it, it did it again. Crazy. I think I may have done it again when we went up Old Pali Highway to the tunnel to go back to Honolulu. And as we were going back, we ended up at Judd Trail. And that's when the scariest thing happened that I never got to see, but it happened. So we drive over there, park the car. People are talking amongst themselves and everything. And again, I'm like, we're here. I'm going to get out of the car. So I got out of the car and I went to sit on the cement pillar that was there. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my phone and everything because I am doing a video. And it was like that for a couple of minutes. And then all of a sudden, someone from the car goes, "Missed! Missed!" And it was Faye. She like, "Missed! Missed!" And I'm like, whoa, okay. And at that exact moment when that happened, man, it all came back to me. Even though I know it the whole time, I go out all the time. I see these places. I interact with these places. I turn on spirit boxes. I've done videos. I've taken photographs. Did a lot of things up there. I've done ghost tours up there. But it all came back to me. Yeah, this place is not just haunted. It is incredibly haunted. There's no word to put before haunted. That's how haunted that place is. Because I felt someone behind me coming towards me, and I just got up. The camera never turns around. I go straight for the car, and we drive away. Here's the scary part. What they saw was, as I was sitting there looking at my phone, behind me, in the shape of what looks like a tortoise, a large tortoise that you would see in the zoo, was this ball of mist. And it was right down on the ground. And they said, as I was looking at the video and I was filming in the exact opposite direction, it started moving left to right, left to right. And then it started coming directly at me. And Faye said, and Dee said that it looked like something from the movie The Grudge, the way that it was moving back and forth, and then all of a sudden going straight forward towards me. It might have been around that time when it lunged at me, this ghost, that I stood straight up because I felt it after they were screaming mist, and we got into the car. I was so scared. Screw that. I didn't even think about turning the camera around. You could feel someone, like if you've ever been out anywhere at all and you feel someone right behind you, not kind of standing a few feet away and staring into your back. This was right behind me. For everyone that's listening tonight, mists have been seen there, and they've done terrible things to people. I'm not mentioning names at all. These are people that I know. It's done terrible things. There was that one night we were at Morgan's Corner. We looked up in a tree, and the ghost that I saw that was flowing through the trees was white and very misty looking. All of this stuff comes together. All of it does. Throw in the fact that Judd Trail is a place where vortexes open up and very unusual, strange, scary things come out of it. I'm still shook up over that, because there's many ways you can look at it. My friend said, my friend just told me, he said that maybe it's because they know you. They've seen you come up here so many times. Oh, I get that part. I understand it quite well. But to come at me the way that that spirit did, because they told me, they said, you could see it plain as day. You don't have to squint your eyes. Oh, what is that perhaps real movement going on there? This was plain as day, even though it was almost, and that's another thing, this was almost at 3 o'clock in the morning, right before 3 o'clock that this happened. I can throw in a lot of things. I went to Morgan's Corner before that. Was it something from Man Camera Ghost 2 or 1? Was it in the car the whole time and it was mad because I was saying, and I just thought about this right now, spiritual download, whatever you want to call it. What if that was what was in the car? And when I stepped out of the car, it decided to go out of the car with me and wanted to show me how upset it was that I told it to get out of the car. Stuff to think about. But I gotta tell you, overall, really, that was a very interesting night. I never had a happy spirit box session. The other things that happened was as spooky and unusual. But when we got there to the end of the night, there was something else. The other thing I wanted to share with all of you that are watching this evening is the fact that August is the most active month for me and for that place, Judd Trail and everything else, Morgan's Corner. That place gets extremely scary. Really scary. You would expect that to be on Halloween night. And I had some scary Halloween nights going out and going ghosting. You would expect it to be on that particular night. But it wasn't. It's August. I can't say why it happens in August. Only that it's not a good thing for people. It's not a good thing for people to be doing that anyway. It's crazy work. Not a good thing for you to go up to that place in August at 3 o'clock in the morning. The later it gets, the more scary it gets. It's really hard at times, but I do my best to express what I feel. It's really hard to describe at times what it feels like when ghosts are there. It doesn't even have to be something that's more positive, because over there it's chop suey. It's a mix of very different types of spirits. But when you're there and it's not dark, it's something entirely different. It's really, unless you have your equipment, it's extremely hard to do that. Gotta sprinkle salt around car. That's right. While it's parked, so spirits won't follow you in. Yeah, good thing we did prayers, but you're right about that. Salt is very important. Let me see what Kohal said. What do you call it? Was someone a descendant from the great Ali Kahikili? Is that Aloha the moderator? I think so, yes. Yes. Yeah, she was on that night, one of the moderators. She was on. You're correct about that. And she was talking about the heiau that was at Kapiolani Park and her connection to it. It was very emotional. We talked to her about that, to send our love and aloha to Aloha, in the hopes that she would feel better about talking about what happened there. I've heard things that didn't sound human in August over there. Almost like a combination of different things screaming at once or in one voice. Who knows how, again, that can happen. I can't tell you. Running around outside, running, it's not you. That kind of stuff happening. Shadows walking up and down the street, which happens at other times. But when you're sitting down and you're talking with the people that came out with you that night, and you see a shadow that's about 8 feet tall, somewhere around there, walking up the street or whatever, you just going to your car is something else. Kuhal says, I have a Kahikili descendant on the Big Island. I plan to meet with them at the heiau to do a circle of healing. drumming ceremony next week, Friday at Hapai Ali'i Heiau in Kona. Oops, this thing is moving around. I'm sorry about that, guys. We'll see what happens with everything. I'm really looking forward to going back. Does that sound crazy? I want to do it in August. If I can't, well, I had my experience for August. And of course, I have that nagging sensation. Why didn't I turn around? Why didn't I film it? Maybe it was for the better. It took a lunge at me. What would it have done if I turned the camera on it? Maybe that was, something came into the picture and said, go to the car, run away from it, don't look back. Hawaii. Hawaii is very, very active. Really active. Again, you guys know about the night I was over here and everything else that happened too. So, but that is my impressions, guys. That is my impressions because I didn't expect any of that to happen. And it did. I told Faye when I left her and I was going home. I said, guarantee nightmares tonight. That is a real thing about the paranormal. The weird thing too, also, I got to say, guys, is sometimes what it actually feels like is what you're experiencing is a nightmare. There's all the meaningful stuff. Yeah, it's very true. There's a lot of meaningful stuff that can happen. But the spooky chicken skin, taking over the situation, you feel them there, then you hear them, and then you see them. And everything else you can imagine in between, guys. Anything. You can throw me a question and say, hey, has this happened? And probably I will say yes. And I have to go back to this place, hopefully. I might go to another place, guys. But I think going to this one location, Morgan's Corner, and doing what I'm going to do, I think you'll like it. It's going to be very different. Something that people like when I do. The other thing is, I still might do what is called, although it's not 100%, maybe it's 50%, the Ghost Hunters Tour. That one, if I do it, Faye had a good idea. It'll be October 30th because it's a Saturday night. We'll be going to different places where things have happened. And we're going to talk about them. Not from the perspective of, oh, someone told me a story type thing. And you're going to share that type of experience. We're going to talk about the things that happen. The things we know of that can occur there. Ghosts are so scary that I was just telling my friend tonight, I said, you know what really makes me spooked out? I was telling my friend that, you know what spooks me out? Whatever happened that night, whatever that thing was that occurred, that was fireworks, I think. It's still there. Crawling along on the ground or doing whatever it wants to do. Probably did that intentionally to scare us. It's there. Any place you can think of in the world, go watch a paranormal video after this live stream and see the craziest things in the world. Some of them are still there. I think most of them are. Those spirits are still haunting those locations every night. It's their world. I'm just visiting. So we shall see what we shall see. It's going to be an interesting Halloween, I think. An interesting experience going out there and having you guys tag along. That's the one thing that's good about YouTube. Having you guys stop by and everything is you get to tag along. You get to have an idea of what I'm experiencing. Sometimes I think it's just a little bit too much. I don't know who's watching right now that was around from my other spirit boxes. It can be a little bit too much. And trust me, if you're experiencing that, oh yeah, I'm right there with you. I really, truly am. Carl says, I'll join you on that night. I'll give you a pulley and blessing before you go when that night comes. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Appreciate you doing that for me, Kuhao. It's going to be a crazy night. And I kind of wonder, I got to have Kuhao back on the show. Kuhao, if he's ready to do a show again. I wonder if the Hawaiians have something similar to Halloween night. I know they have a Pukane night. I understand that. Is that their version of a Halloween type night? Not exactly Halloween, you know? Halloween's a very ancient Celtic ritual of ghosts and spirits and demons and all that other stuff. We should do a show about that and talk. See what happens. Guys, I am so putting together everything in my head still, even though I told you guys everything piece by piece, putting it back together in my head. I'll have the video, by the way, guys, in case you're wondering, because I did say that I was filming. I'll have the video for you guys to watch. It was just unfiltered, going into the car, doing what we did, and ending it with somebody. Well, there was a little bit more after that, but the last segment of the paranormal was somebody screaming about a mist that was coming right at me. That's on it too. I just didn't turn around, which, looking back on things, I'm glad that I didn't do. Let's wrap this up now, guys. Thank you for being around tonight, putting up with me and my tripod that's not behaving. This Thursday is going to be great. Again, how do I know this? I talk to Relatively Paranormal. I'll be dropping a link to their channel, and I hope you guys will go over there and check them out. Even now, go ahead, type it in. Type in Relatively Paranormal. Check them out, man. Would you like to close with a prayer? Of course, yeah. Always do. We will say a prayer, because that's the right thing to do, especially when you talk about them. And also, if any of the spirits tonight were listening in, please do not get mad. Aole Pilakia Nakapuna, yeah? If I said that right, we don't want any problems with the ghost of Hawaii. So yeah, check that out, guys. You're going to love the show. I guarantee you. I'm going to be putting up probably 1 or 2 more flyers before Thursday night. This Thursday, August 26, 2021, 8:30. I am so excited. It's the first, I guarantee you, of several interviews that I'll be doing with Relatively Paranormal. So let's do what Kuhao said to do, which I agree with. I'm going to do a prayer. For those of you who want to stick around for that, that's fine. I'll say a prayer for the people that even left. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Father, we come to you tonight asking for your protection against anything that is of the enemy, the wickedness that prowls through the world. Protect us with your light and your angels, with the prayers of the saints, the apostles, and the martyrs, and again, the angels. That a white light is around us. And let us not just think about the white light there for protecting us, but also your love that is given to us. Thank you for watching over us. Thank you for the blessing of you being our God. Saint Michael, the archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and the snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And thou, O Prince of the heavenly hosts, by the power of God, thrust into hell Satan and all evil spirits who wander through the world for the ruin of all souls. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Blessed be God forever. Okay, guys. Thank you for taking the time to come by and letting me share with you these experiences that take place. I'll be talking to you folks again very soon, this Thursday night. Kuhal, thank you. I look forward to everybody being here Thursday on this channel. I guarantee you this is going to be phenomenal. Amy, thank you so much, my friend. You as well, yeah? Have a beautiful, wonderful evening, everybody. Ed, thank you for being here. All of you guys are amazing. You truly are. And I'll keep saying that. Good night, Kuhal. Ghosts of Hawaii. You're home for a dose of ghosts and something up at Judd Trail. That's there every night. Until next time, aloha.